Welcome back to today's video. In this episode, we're diving into the fascinating world of United States Washington quarters, where history, rarity, and value all come together. We'll be exploring the top 6 most expensive and most valuable quarter-dollar-old coins ever struck, uncovering what makes them so special, why collectors chase them, and just how much they can be worth in today's market. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just starting your collecting journey, this is one lineup you won't want to miss. Let's get started. First up in the 1974 Washington quarter with no mint mark, produced at the Philadelphia Mint, holds a notable place in American numismatics as one of the more fascinating coins of its era. While the year itself was not marked by a major change in design or metallic composition, collectors have come to value this coin for its role within the Washington Quarter series and its significance during a transitional period in U.S. coinage history. The no mint mark designation immediately identifies it as a Philadelphia strike, making it distinct from its Denver D and San Francisco S counterparts. For enthusiasts, high-grade survivors from this issue represent an opportunity to own a piece of American coinage that combines historical value with investment potential, particularly in the upper echelons of the grading scale. Historically, the 1974 no mint mark Washington quarter emerged in a decade marked by economic shifts, rising inflation, and growing concerns about the future of coinage materials. This period came after the U.S. Mint transitioned from silver coinage to clad copper-nickel designs in the mid-1960s, and by 1974, the new composition had firmly taken root in circulation. Philadelphia struck hundreds of millions of quarters that year, but within the context of modern numismatics, certain well-preserved examples stand out sharply against the backdrop of heavily worn circulated pieces. Though not tied to a commemorative event, the 1974 quarter represents the endurance of the Washington design, originally introduced in 1932 to honor the bicentennial of George Washington's birth. The design of the 1974 no mint mark quarter maintains the iconic portrait of George Washington on the obverse, sculpted by John Flanagan, a design that had become deeply embedded in American culture by this time. Washington's left-facing profile is complemented by inscriptions including Liberty at the top and In God We Trust to the left of his bust. The reverse, featuring an eagle with wings spread perched on a bundle of arrows and framed by olive branches, symbolizes the strength and peace of the United States. The coin measures 24.3 in diameter, weighs 5.67 grams, and is composed of a clad alloy of 75% copper and 25% nickel over a pure copper core. Although standard in appearance, coins that have survived with sharp strikes, strong luster, and virtually no contact marks are visually striking and increasingly difficult to find. The rarity of the 1974 no mint mark Washington quarter does not arise from its overall mintage, which exceeded 800 million, but rather from the scarcity of pristine examples in higher mint state grades. Circulated pieces are common and typically hold only face value, but true gems, graded MS66 and above, are far less common due to weak strikes and the heavy wear coins endured in circulation. An additional layer of rarity is introduced through recognized varieties and minting errors, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or other production anomalies, which are highly sought after by specialists. The condition and appearance of the coin play a pivotal role in value. An example with booming luster and sharp detail in mint state condition can fetch a remarkable premium. In terms of market value, circulated 1974 Philadelphia quarters typically remain at their face value of 25 cents, but the narrative shifts dramatically when examining high-grade certified coins. In MS65, values often hover around $25 to $40, while coins achieving MS66 can bring $100 or more depending on demand. The true outliers, MS67 examples, are exceedingly rare and can command prices of several $100s, with some auction appearances reaching beyond $1,000 for spectacular specimens. Era varieties from 1974, particularly dramatic double dies or major misstrikes, have sold for even higher sums at specialized numismatic auctions. This tiered market makes the 1974 quarter a dynamic coin for both casual collectors and seasoned investors. For collectors seeking to acquire a high-quality 1974 no-mint-mark Washington quarter, attention to detail is essential. Look for coins with strong strikes, full detail on Washington's hair, minimal contact marks, and unbroken luster across the surfaces. Certification from a trusted third-party grading service, such as PCGS or NGC, provides assurance of authenticity and accurate grading, which is particularly important for higher-value pieces. Proper storage in airtight holders or archival quality coin flips helps maintain condition and prevents environmental damage. Many collectors recommend searching through old rolls or dealer stock, as overlooked gems can sometimes still be found in collections formed decades ago. The appeal of the 1974 no-mint-mark Washington quarter lies not only in its financial potential, but also in its ability to tell the story of U.S. coinage during a transformative period. It stands as a representation of the evolution of the Washington series as the mint moved firmly into the era of clad coinage, a reminder of how changes in economy and technology influenced American currency. For some, it evokes nostalgia for an era when such coins freely circulated in daily life, while for others, it represents a challenge to secure one of the finest surviving specimens from a common yet surprisingly elusive issue in high grade. The 1974 no-mint-mark Washington quarter occupies a special position in the broader panorama of American numismatics. Though plentiful in circulation, its rarity emerges at the highest levels of preservation and within its unusual era varieties, making it a rewarding pursuit for collectors. It combines history, artistry, and market potential in a single coin, appealing to those who value both the tangible and intangible aspects of numismatics. For the dedicated collector, acquiring a superior example of this quarter is more than a financial investment. It is a connection to the enduring legacy of George Washington's image on American coinage and a meaningful addition to any Washington quarter collection. Next up in the 1981 D Washington quarter holds a unique place within the long-running Washington quarter series, which began in 1932. While not a silver coin like earlier quarters, this clad copper-nickel issue has developed a reputation among collectors due to its scarcity in high-grade mint state conditions and its appeal as part of the broader 1980s quarter era. Though billions of Washington quarters were produced during the late 20th century, the Denver-minted 1981 issue has stood out in recent years because of its connection to transitional minting practices, the difficulty of locating pristine survivors, and the occasional discovery of error coins. These factors, combined with increasing collector demand for modern-era rarities, have propelled certain examples of the 1981 D into the spotlight as valuable treasures in the numismatic world. The year 1981 was a time of great transition in U.S. coinage. The U.S. Mint was in the midst of adapting to higher production demands as the economy required vast numbers of circulating coins. The Washington quarter, originally introduced to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, was by then an established piece of American currency. The Denver Mint, which struck the 1981 D quarter, played a critical role in supplying coins for western and central regions of the United States. Although no commemorative elements were added to this year's coin, its historical relevance stems from its representation of the late Cold War era, a period when the nation's coinage was evolving alongside economic and cultural shifts. Collectors today often view the 1981 D quarter as a reflection of the period's numismatic identity. In terms of design, the 1981 D quarter follows the standard Washington quarter format but remains a visual classic. The obverse features John Flanagan's enduring portrait of George Washington, his resolute profile symbolizing leadership and independence. The reverse carries the iconic heraldic eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows and olive branches, a design that, while common, embodies national pride. Struck in copper-nickel clad composition, The coin weighs 5.67 grams and measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter. While not visually different from other years, collectors are drawn to sharp strikes, clean luster, and coins with full details in Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers. Such well-preserved examples showcase the artistry of the design and represent the true beauty of a coin often overlooked in circulation. Rarity is not typically associated with 1981 D-quarters in general circulation, as millions were minted. However, rarity emerges when condition is considered. Circulated examples remain common, but mint state coins with superb eye appeal and grades above MS66 are extremely difficult to locate. Even fewer survive in top-tier MS67 condition, making them highly desirable and rare despite the overall high mintage. Additionally, error coins, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or coins struck on planchets intended for other denominations, have surfaced from this year, commanding premiums in the marketplace. The scarcity of flawless specimens is what elevates the 1981 D from a common coin into a modern collectible gem. Market value for the 1981 D Washington quarter varies widely depending on grade and rarity. Circulated examples generally trade at face value, but uncirculated coins certified in the MS65 range can fetch $15.40. In higher grades such as MS66, values rise to $75.150, while coins graded MS67 or better can sell for several $100s or more, depending on demand at auction. Certain error varieties have reached prices exceeding $1,000, especially when authenticated and graded by leading certification services. Over the last decade, collectors have increasingly turned their attention to modern quarters, driving upward momentum for premium condition 1981 D examples, especially as registry-set competition among collectors intensifies. For collectors seeking to acquire the 1981 D quarter, a strategic approach is essential. Certification by reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC provides assurance of authenticity and accurate grading, making it vital when dealing with high-value examples. Searching original U.S. mint sets from 1981 can yield uncirculated specimens with strong strikes and attractive luster. Careful storage is equally important. Coins should be housed in protective holders to prevent wear and environmental damage. Collectors are also advised to stay connected with reputable dealers, auctions, and numismatic communities, where high-grade or unusual varieties of the 1981 D quarter occasionally appear. Patience and careful selection often lead to acquiring the finest examples. The 1981 D Washington quarter also reflects a broader shift in the collecting community itself. In earlier decades, collectors focused primarily on silver coins and older series, often dismissing modern-clad quarters as too common to be of real value. However, as more numismatists sought to build complete Washington quarter sets spanning all years and mint marks, the importance of high-quality modern issues became apparent. The difficulty of finding a flawless 1981 D in comparison to other years has only heightened this recognition, turning what was once considered ordinary pocket change into an important prize in registry, set competition, and personal collections alike. This evolution in perspective illustrates how numismatics constantly adapts, elevating certain coins as tastes and collecting goals change over time. Another compelling aspect of the 1981 D quarter is its link to error coin enthusiasts. While most quarters struck at the Denver Mint that year were perfectly ordinary, a handful of remarkable errors have surfaced, adding excitement and variety to the field. Examples include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and even double-die obverses that display slight but noticeable doubling on Washington's profile or inscriptions. These rare mishaps not only bring significant premiums, but also add a sense of unpredictability to the hunt for valuable coins. For collectors specializing in mint errors, the 1981 D offers both common circulation finds and the thrilling possibility of a unique, high-value discovery, further enhancing its place in numismatic lore. The enduring allure of the 1981 D Washington quarter rests on its multifaceted appeal. It is a coin that embodies history, from the symbolism of Washington's portrait to the economic and minting practices of early 1980s America. It is also a coin that challenges collectors, as gem-quality examples remain elusive despite its high mintage. And perhaps most importantly, it is a coin that continues to surprise, whether through dramatic era varieties, record-breaking auction appearances, or its steady rise in demand among modern quarter enthusiasts. As such, the 1981 D is more than a circulating coin. It is a case study in how rarity, history, and collector passion can elevate a seemingly ordinary piece into a numismatic treasure. The appeal of the 1981 D quarter lies in its balance of accessibility and rarity. On one hand, it remains a coin that millions have handled in daily commerce, a reminder of the ubiquity of U.S. coinage. On the other hand, its scarcity in gem mint states and its role as a key coin for modern quarter collectors elevate it far beyond its face value. It serves as a bridge between the silver-era Washington quarters of the mid-20th century and the state quarter boom that revitalized public interest in collecting decades later. For both novice and seasoned collectors, the 1981 D quarter offers the thrill of hunting for a modern rarity hidden in plain sight. The 1981 D Washington quarter may not hold the same immediate allure as its silver predecessors, but its numismatic significance cannot be understated. Representing a critical period in U.S. coinage history, it combines historical resonance, aesthetic appeal, and genuine rarity in high grades. Its market value continues to grow, fueled by both era coin discoveries and the increasing appreciation of modern quarters in top condition. For collectors, the 1981 D is more than a circulating piece of pocket change. It is a symbol of the evolving story of American coinage, a reminder that even coins from the 1980s can hold remarkable beauty, historical depth, and investment potential. Next up in the 1988 D Washington quarter stands as one of the more intriguing pieces from the late 20th century in American numismatics. While the Washington quarter series spans many decades, coins from the 1980s often go unnoticed by casual collectors, making high-grade examples of the 1988 D particularly significant. Its appeal lies in both its scarcity in pristine condition and its importance within the larger Washington quarter legacy. Today, collectors seeking to complete their sets or invest in overlooked, yet promising modern coins often look to the 1988 D Denver issue, which has grown steadily in market demand due to its historical place in U.S. coinage and its rarity in gem condition. The 1988 D quarter was minted at the Denver Mint, a facility long recognized for producing circulation coins in high volume. That year, over 596 million quarters were struck, a figure that might suggest the coin is common. However, like many modern quarters, most pieces entered everyday commerce, where circulation quickly reduced their condition. Historically, this was a transitional period for American coinage. Precious metal content had long been abandoned, but the Washington quarter continued to carry strong national symbolism. While the coin did not commemorate a specific event in 1988, it represents the enduring stability of U.S. coinage design during a time of economic growth and cultural change in the United States. The design of the 1988 D Washington quarter reflects the classic artistry of John Flanagan, whose portrait of George Washington had been introduced on the quarter in 1932. On the obverse, Washington's profile remains bold and dignified, with the inscriptions "Liberty, in God we trust," and the date 1988. The reverse features the heraldic eagle with spread wings, clutching arrows, and an olive branch, symbols of strength and peace. The coin is composed of a copper-nickel-clad planchet weighing 5.67 grams, with a diameter of 24.3 millimeters. While common in worn condition, quarters from 1988 D that retain sharp detail, luster, and a clean strike exhibit a striking beauty that makes them highly appealing in top grades. In terms of rarity, the 1988 D Washington quarter is not scarce in lower grades, but becomes dramatically more elusive in mint state 66 and above. A small number of well-preserved examples exist, often saved directly from mint rolls or bags before they could enter circulation. Era coins, such as off-center strikes or double dies, add another layer of rarity and can command significant premiums among collectors. Condition remains the single most important factor in determining value. Coins certified by leading grading services such as PCGS or NGC carry additional weight in the market because authentication ensures both quality and legitimacy. When it comes to market value, circulated examples of the 1988 D Washington quarter typically trade for face value or modest premiums. However, gem uncirculated pieces tell a different story. Quarters graded MS66 can fetch anywhere from $50 to $120 depending on eye appeal, while MS67 examples, which are exceedingly rare, have reached auction prices of $1,000 or more. Exceptional coins with nearly flawless surfaces, sharp detail, and brilliant luster may exceed these levels if offered at major auctions. Era coins, especially dramatic ones, can also reach values in the hundreds or even thousands, depending on the type and rarity. For collectors, acquiring a 1988 D Washington quarter in top condition requires patience and careful selection. The best approach is to seek coins certified by reputable grading services, as these provide assurance of authenticity and condition. Collectors should pay attention to strike quality, avoiding coins with weakly struck details, which were common in Denver Mint issues of this period. Proper storage is also essential. Coins should be kept in protective holders, away from moisture, fingerprints, and air exposure to preserve their luster. Collectors aiming to add such a coin to their portfolio might find success at numismatic auctions, coin shows, or through trusted dealers specializing in modern quarters. Beyond its monetary value, the 1988 D Washington quarter also carries symbolic weight for collectors who see it as a representation of American numismatic history, bridging tradition and modernity. The coin demonstrates how even high mintage issues can develop into treasures when condition and rarity intersect. For many enthusiasts, owning a pristine example of this coin is less about the year itself and more about preserving a piece of everyday American culture that has survived untouched for nearly 4 decades. Its appeal extends to both seasoned collectors and newcomers who find inspiration in tracking down such overlooked gems. Another factor enhancing the 1988 D quarter's desirability is the growing focus among numismatists on modern-era coins. For decades, the spotlight was largely on pre-1965 silver issues, but in recent years, the collecting community has increasingly turned its attention to clad quarters from the 1970s and 1980s. This shift has elevated the status of coins like the 1988 D, particularly in high mint state grades where survival rates are low. Auction records and private sales reflect this evolving interest, with more collectors willing to pay substantial premiums for coins that were once dismissed as too modern to matter. The 1988 D Washington quarter exemplifies the changing dynamics of coin collecting. What was once a common piece of circulating currency has transformed into a valued collectible thanks to rarity in condition, historical context, and the enduring popularity of the Washington Quarter series. Its future remains promising, as more collectors recognize the challenge of acquiring high-grade examples and the satisfaction of owning a coin that reflects both America's heritage and the evolving tastes of modern numismatics. For these reasons, the 1988 D stands firmly as one of the most valuable and respected quarters of its era. The 1988 D quarter not only represents an important year in the Washington series, but also underscores the value of modern coins that are often overlooked. Its significance lies in its blend of historical continuity, artistic merit, and rarity in top grades. For collectors who appreciate both the challenge of finding high-quality coins and the beauty of classic American design, the 1988 D offers a rewarding opportunity. As more numismatists turn their attention to the modern era, coins like this are gaining recognition for their scarcity in pristine form. The 1988 D Washington quarter occupies a fascinating place in U.S. numismatics. While billions of quarters were minted during the decade, few remain in the superb condition prized by serious collectors. Its historical backdrop, enduring design, and rarity at the highest levels of preservation combine to make it a coin of both aesthetic and financial value. Whether for those building a complete Washington quarter set or investors seeking underappreciated coins with strong potential for appreciation, the 1988 D quarter stands as a coin worth acquiring and cherishing.